on tight, we're alright. It's just thunder tonight. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh.
So, the video you all been waiting for, the test week of the TSA program, or week 9, where I'm gonna max out on all my lifts. And first out, I'm gonna show you how I did, how much I managed to lift, and after that I'm gonna give you my personal inputs and comments and maybe feedback from it. And then lastly, I'm gonna give my review of the program, what I think, and so forth. So, let's go!
You stole my heart of gold after my silver soul. Can you dig any deeper now? I gave you all I own, put you on this golden throne, but I'm a little stronger now. You cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. 'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. 'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now.
Yes, so I managed to get PRs on all my lifts. So starting out with squats, I managed to hit the 5 kilo PR, 195 kilos, and to be honest, it did not really feel as heavy as I had expected. And if you compare my last PR here, it went a lot faster this time around, so I'm happy about that. I still wanted to try 200 because just want to try how that felt, and as you saw, I didn't even get out of the hole, so next time I'll get that 200. I felt very shaky walking it out as well. Felt like my whole body was shaky, and but you don't know if you haven't tried, so. And then for the bench press, which has felt maybe the best of all the lifts in this program, or easiest, I managed to hit 137.5, but I don't really count that because my butt came too much off the bench, and that usually happens when I get stuck. It automatically goes off the bench to help to not get stuck. But I managed to hit 135 pretty cleanly, so I'm really happy about that. That's still a 2.5 kilo PR and much cleaner than last time with 2.5 less. I will remind you, my last PR, 132.5, moved very slow and my butt came off a lot more. So I'm really happy about my PR on the bench. I even tried 140, but that was kind of close, but I'll get that next time for sure. It's not too far away now. In spite of that, I think my bench has never felt this stable even though I'm maxing, so I'm giving all the credit to this program for all the upper back work. I think that has a great influence on my stability on the bench, so really happy about that. Yeah, 3-plate bench is coming soon to a place near you. Overhead press, I've never tried anything remotely heavy on that before, let alone maxing. I didn't really have any numbers or previous PRs to go from, so I just went up 5 kilo at a time to see when I would reach my limit, and I got up to 80 kilos, which is my body weight at the moment. I suppose that's an okay lift, I don't know, I haven't really checked out what other people are overhead pressing really. I guess that's okay, even though I have still much room for improvement on the overhead press, because I had not really tried that so much in my past. And then for a deadlift, that has also felt really good through this program. Especially the last few weeks, the weight felt really easy, even though it was closer to 93% of my max then, so that was a sign that I had some more gains coming. And as you saw, 205 kilos moved quite fast for a PR, and I tried 210 and it looked really promising off the floor, but then not really sure what really happened, but after I looked through the video like 100 times, I saw that I was sloppy with keeping my lats tight, so my underhand side got too in front of me, and that led to the weight shifting too much forward, and the weight stopped right there. But when I lifted the weight, I just thought in my head that it was too heavy and I couldn't get that, so that's why I didn't retake it. But I suppose I could have got that day. I had the strength in me, I would say. No big problem, I get that easy next time I max out anyway, so I'm happy I got PRs on everything anyway, and that was a good indicator on deadlift as well, to see that 205 moved very easily. so I have more coming. So 5 plate deadlift at the end of the year. I decided to make a review of this program after finishing it, so I'm just giving you my 2 cents, what I think. I liked it a lot, actually. I don't have anything bad to say about it. It's a 4-day-a-week program, and that fits my schedule quite well, and I respond quite well to performing 4 days a week. Being a 9-week program, it's also very good length of the program, and it is, I would say, a peaking program, because after week 5 basically is tapering off the volume until you hit a peak, and that worked very well for me. The last 2 weeks actually felt very easy, being so heavy weights, so kudos to you, Mr. Bryce. What's your name now again? Louis. This program is very well thought through because of the volume. Starting with an intro week, very light on volume, very light weights, and ramping up all the way to halfway into week 5, which actually, my experience as well, maybe the hardest week of them all. And then tapering off to week 9, where you test your maxes. And that worked very well. You're benching 3 times a week, you're squatting 2 times a week, and deadlifting 2 times a week. And deadlifting 1 day is normal and 1 day is a pause deadlift. I think that's a good frequency to build your lifts as well, because bench usually responds better to higher frequency. And day 3 you don't bench, but you overhead press instead, so that was a new exercise for me. Or new, but I had not really trained with that for a very long time, so I enjoyed that as well. And as I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of upper back work in this program, which might actually have helped my bench a lot. It felt very stable all the way through. I felt very stable on the bench even when maxing, so that's a good sign right there. This was my first program where I used RPE, and for you guys who don't know what RPE stands for, it's the rate of perceived exertion. Basically means how many reps you got left in the tank, and that can take some time to get used to, as it did for me, but once I got that, I really enjoyed that, because it works quite well for your assistance exercises. I had really fun running this program, and I would really recommend it for anyone being an intermediate or late beginner maybe. I will run this program next time I will max out, because the peak worked really well for me. So yes, that's about it. And I want to give big thanks to the guy who made this program, Bryce Lewis, the strength athlete. And also thank you to you, BM7, who suggested this program for me. You're right, it worked quite well for me. So I would recommend it to you guys as a program. If you're willing to max out at the end, this is a really good program for that. I will link the program in the description below if you want to check it out and run it yourself and see what you think. And finally, make some gains on this program.
Up here, we're free, bound only by frozen memories.